How's it going, guys? It's nice to see you guys once again. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I should be studying for my exam coming up pretty soon. But I've really been thinking and reflecting about a lot of things that has happened throughout the entirety of my life up to this point. And I think it's appropriate to present that in today's video. I've come across what I believe is the main root cause for a lot of what my life's problems fall on. And you guys could probably 100% know where I'm coming from with this, because it involves something that I'm doing right now in this very moment. Communication. Communicating with my mouth specifically. The words that come out of my mouth are being recorded through the microphone of this camera and are being taken in through your guys' ears, hearing my voice. Why do I mention this? The way I was communicating with others when I was living at home, when I was going through school, high school, and going through pretty much any social situation imaginable. I had a fierce fucking stutter. And I was a nuisance to listen to. Not to mention the lack of social skills that I had as I was going through elementary and middle school. I think I mentioned this on the channel before as well. But when I was that young, I never partook in very much socializing in school. My social skills were at the absolute bottom. Like, let's say, we got a little hierarchy here. Let's say most people, most people are probably like right here. I was way down here because I didn't do hardly any socializing at all. I was a mute. I was dead silent. Didn't say a word to anyone and didn't care either. I used to have the mindset of, oh, why do I need to talk to people? What do I have to talk about? Why do I need to tell people what's going on when I'm at home? I only had one friend, and the only reason I was friends with him was because my mom and his grandmother knew each other, because he lived with his grandmother, and we were literally just down the street from one another. He was 2 houses down from me. That's the one main friend I had. And you wonder why he was the main friend. Because he literally was in my comfort zone. He was in my social comfort zone. No wonder I was struggling socially. I never got along with many people in my class, and I definitely was not seeing any of them outside of school. And a lot of the reason why I thought originally I didn't need these people in my life was because of the lifestyle they were living. And honestly, I'm glad I didn't get involved in the life they got involved with. It saved me a lot of potential to get addicted to drugs and alcohol and substances that I don't need to be reliant on just to function. I am beyond grateful that I have taken into consideration how my future could be affected by the habits of the people I surround myself with. And I chose not to surround myself with people who are doing those habits. I'm proud of myself for that one, to be honest. considering how naive I was in high school. I was more naive than anyone at all because I had no perception of what human nature was like or what people were very capable of doing. And needless to say, I found out the hard way socially and basically just got thrown under the rug. When you're a quiet person in the early days of your life, especially high school, man, you are not considered even a human being. You're not looked at as a human if you do not interact with all the other humans around you. It's as messed up as it sounds, and it's not the way it should be, but it is the way how it is because it's based off of our human nature. Instinctively, we are going to think that if somebody does not interact with us and they don't care about us, then we should not care about them. Because how are we supposed to tell if this person is even somebody that's on our side if we don't know what's going on in their mind? They're not expressive. So no wonder the quiet kid is off the radar, not even taken into consideration socially. And he's weird. He may not be a weird person, but he sure does make everyone feel weird with his presence. Your voice is very powerful, and I'm coming to the realization now that the lack of me not using my voice when I was in high school, and when I did use my voice, I didn't have the skills of having a good voice. It cost me a lot. I missed out on so many opportunities that could have reshaped my life a lot more than what it is, than how it turned out, for a lack of a better word. My life could have been so much more different, but my social skills were falling behind. Picture this. You're playing RuneScape, the video game RuneScape, the RPG game, or what's it called, the MMORPG, whatever you call it. You're playing RuneScape and you're doing all these here activities, you're fishing, you're cutting down trees, you're fighting bosses, you're doing all these things. And the more you do it, the more you level up your skills. It's the exact same thing, but in real life. The only difference is we don't see a meter, a physical meter measuring where our skill is at. We know where our skills measure up based on our interactions and experiences and our skills that we demonstrate. That's the measurement. How are we actually performing? And how do we see that? And how do other people see that? That's literally it. Life seems simple, but so many people are uncomfortable with life because now life is too comfortable. So facing the uncomfortable in life, which actually could build your skills, is uncomfortable and often avoided. And I avoided talking and socializing with new people. I'm so glad that I am hard on myself now when I'm young, so that I'm able to conceptualize my reality and reposition myself to elaborate on these skills, to further pursue and build these skills back up from the ground up, because these are my weak points, and the understanding my weak points more and more is going to develop me into a better man, and most importantly, the man I'm supposed to be, man. The way I'm talking now in front of this camera would have been impossible for me a year ago when I first started YouTube. I'm not even that far into YouTube. I've only been doing this every now and then whenever the chance has arisen for me in order to record videos. 2 years ago, for instance, I couldn't even barely look at somebody in the eyes and talk to them how I'm talking to this camera right now. without jumbling up my words and stuttering like crazy. I even stutter here and there in some recent videos I make. If I don't, one thing I'm starting to notice, if I don't consciously think of the words I'm saying, that's when I stutter the most. If I assume something needs to be said, that's when the stuttering happens. But if I use this a little bit more and really focus on getting a stronger thinking muscle working within my head, my stutter will be gone just like that. And I will never have to worry about it again. Trying too fast to talk and trying to talk without really thinking it through will cause you to slip every time. And if you want to be a better talker, which will help you tremendously in this life, you need to identify your weaknesses like I have and take action and do something about it. Yes, man, do something about it. Because the life you want to live is past your weaknesses. You need to tackle your weaknesses in order to get ahead. That's how we grow. And if you don't try, you'll never know. Bars. Yes, sir. In all seriousness, though, communication is literally the most important skill, the one and most important skill that human beings need in order to function in this life. Being introverted, being illiterate, it is the biggest disadvantage, unfortunately. Knowing a second language or a third language is going to benefit you with dividends if you know that, because learning a new language just opens the door for how many people you have access to talking to. And being able to speak to others and influence others through your mouth is literally what is going to achieve everything you will ever want. If you want good brothers and friends around you all the time, you need to use this. If you want a beautiful, pretty, gorgeous, sexy woman in your life, you don't attract her by your looks as a man. You attract her right here and demonstrating the man you are with your character through your mouth. If you want a bank account full of cash all of the time, you need to develop the skill of communication, because communication, I heard this in a podcast, but communication is the highest paying skill. Period. Who's gonna know about your business if you don't tell anybody? How are you gonna make YouTube videos if you don't open your mouth? Simple. Sounds simple, but execution is always the hardest part. But an attempt on execution, and like I said earlier, building those skills and remeasuring your skills through that execution will show what you're really made of. You'll see how far you'll go. Like this video if you relate to these problems that I've personally had, and if you're willing to make that change to build up your skill of communicating. And subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos just like this on your screen. Thank you so much for watching until the very end. And without further ado, my brothers, you guys take care and God bless.